days of yoga.
Yes, and today's day 18.
I think it is, yes. I'm losing track of time a bit here.
If you're joining us today and you've been following our channel and our 30-day Get Up and Go, and you're starting in this position, then please do cross the legs the other way, so make sure that you alternate from one day to the next, so you're not just sitting on the same side. We're going to start our practice today with Adho Mukha Virasana. You'll be familiar with this. We've started our practice in the last few days like this. So taking the big toes together. We'll go through it quite quickly now because some of you will be more familiar with this action. Extending forward, remember that tip about leading with the abdomen. You're going to draw the abdomen towards the spine and extend forward. Just take a few breaths. This is the beginning of your practice. Just soften the breath and breathe through your nostrils. Soft inhalation, soft exhalation. Push down, plant down with the palms. Remember to keep those arms nice and straight. We're going to come for Adho Mukha Svanasana, dog head down. Tucking your toes under and lifting up. And again, work from the base. So when you come into your dog pose, your Adho Mukha Svanasana, be sure that you're creating the energy and the action to be able to push into the back of the body. So from the palms, planting down very strongly, wrists, energizing that action. So you're moving down with your wrists into your palms, lock your elbows, lift up through the upper arms and see that from the back of the shoulders, this area here, you're extending. So this is a little bit of a tough one here. I'm going to just show you here, this action of the outer arm needs to rotate in this direction, from the inside out, this direction. So you get a broadness in the trapezius muscles and lifting up, lifting all the way through the spinal column towards your buttocks and then reaching to your thighs. It's almost as if you're squeezing the air between the back of the thigh muscles and the skin. You've got to push the bones back so strongly and push the air out. Opening the backs of the knees and extending throughout the soles of the feet. Look forward. We're coming for Uttanasana. Remember this action, jump or walk the feet towards the hands. And again, if you're joining us for the first time today, then we understand there's stiffness in the legs, the knees may be slightly soft or bent. Try to keep the legs straight, even if you have to put your hands a little bit higher onto a couple of foam blocks or yoga bricks. If you haven't got any of those, put your hands on your shins and look forward, extend through the front of the body. And lift the abdomen as you're doing so, and for those of you who've been with us for several days, then come into your classic pose. If your classic pose is with your hands a little bit higher, onto a chair, onto your shins, onto your thighs, whatever it may be, just come into your classic pose and see that you soften your abdomen and reach towards the chest side. So you're lifting from the base of the abdomen towards your chest, even in this fold, even if your hands are forward or onto some supports. Just be in this position for a few moments. Soft inhalation, soft exhalation. We're coming from this position into Adho Mukha Svanasana again, and from Adho Mukha Svanasana coming into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, which is dog head up, so it's a little bit more challenging. So taking your feet back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, now look forward. You may need to look at the screen for this one. And then extend the whole of the spine forward, so you're coming into an upward facing dog pose. Good. Extending through the arms. You can see here Leo's got her feet tucked under. This is exactly a good way to start this pose and start to practice keeping the legs nice and straight and firm. So if this is the first time you've practiced this pose, then do keep the feet in this direction to start with. Once you get a little bit more familiar with the action, then you can flatten the feet. Good. That's it. And lifting the backs of the thighs up, lifting through the spine and lifting the sternum chest up. Take a few breaths. Soft inhalation and exhalation. Tucking your toes under and now coming for Adho Mukha Svanasana. So this is quite quick now, looking forward, coming for Uttanasana. And just being in this position. And again, come to the full action wherever that may be for you. It may be that the hamstrings are just so tight at the moment, that's why you should be practicing yoga. Or it may be that you can come into the full fold, depending on your agility, your mobility in the action. Make sure those legs are nice and strong and straight, pulling up with the knees, thighs, and the abdominal area. Okay, coming out of your Uttanasana now. And taking a breath in and coming up. Good. Okay, just taking a few moments to absorb some of that work, rolling your shoulders back and down, standing in Tadasana. Taking the weight back into your heels. Yes, you saw quite a strong alignment change for Leo there. So if your body's forward, can you see? This is how we live our lives quite often with the body forward. So we've got to train it and just come into some better habits with your posture. So this doesn't have to be practiced on the mat. You can practice this when you're out and about in your everyday lives. Good. Okay, so we're going to come for a lateral pose called Preparational now. So standing in the center of your mat. Here, nice breath in, taking your fingers towards your chest and jump. Yes, good. Okay, so being in this position, turning the feet, turning your left foot in, your right foot out. So we're coming for the angle now. Now remember what we've said before in some of the other videos, that you need to keep the energy in the back leg and the back foot, so the outer foot bone is grounded. Lift through the front body and bend your front leg. Good. Extending into the fingers, extending the arms, and now reaching along this thigh, along the front thigh, so that you're coming into your Preparational. Now don't forget this back leg. We've explained and gone through this pose previously, so if you're a regular viewer on our channel, you would have picked up a few tips on this pose. Make sure this outer hip goes in, so that front leg hip has got to move into the body so strongly. And the angle, be sure that the thigh isn't pushing forward to the front edge of the mat. That's a very common mistake in the beginning of your practice. And if this is happening, this means to say that you have to take your hand a little bit higher. So if I just show you here, Leo, I mean, this is a little bit precarious. You need a solid, thick yoga brick for this action. But this is giving you an example of where your hand needs to be if your leg is starting to push forward, the inner thigh pushing forward to the front edge of the mat. You have to see that you actually take a little bit of a backward step in terms of coming into the preparational stage and getting good symmetry. Okay, taking a breath in and slowly coming up. Good. All right, turning the feet and coming to your Preparational on your left side. Lifting up, chest up, good. And now coming to your pose, bend your left leg. And now extend, keep on extending. Remember what we said about the back leg. You've got to see that you don't drop that inner thigh, the back leg, you keep it lifted strongly. Coming into this pose, and again, if you lose that angle of the leg, you've got to take your hand a little bit higher. You can put your hand onto a couple of books, if you've got some books available, or if you've got some yoga equipment, a yoga brick would be more appropriate at this stage. You want to see that you lift up through the front body, and remember that outer hip's got to move in of the front leg. Just be there for a few moments, soft inhalation and exhalation. To come out of the pose, see that you lift the abdomen, lift through the front body, and take a breath in and come up. And turning the feet to face forward. Jump the legs together. Good. Stand in your Tadasana, feet together. So when you're in your Tadasana, the legs become one. And you're going to need this instruction eventually when you come into your inversions. So your inversions are when you start to go upside down in the yoga practice, and the legs become very important, and you need to get a lot of connection at this stage. So see that those outer thighs are moving towards one another, and you're getting a lift out of the pelvis. Strong action. The tailbone weights the pose. So you've got to see that the tailbone lengthens towards the back of the thighs. Be sure that you're not tucking the tailbone in. So when you tuck, Leo will show you. That's a very good demonstration. So I know there's a lot of instructions of tucking, but see that you lengthen it so that it becomes an anchor. It's a very important area within the body. It needs to be grounded so that you become balanced throughout the practice. And that's not only on a physical level. We're coming down to the floor work now for a pose called Bakasana. So you're coming into a prone position. So Bakasana is quite an interesting pose. And we're only going to come into the preparational stage now. So we're not coming into the full action, but we're just using the preparational stage to get a little bit of awareness in the front thighs. You can see that Leo's holding her arms in front of her and lengthening the legs. This is a kind of automated action, isn't it? You really come into this pose. You kind of just want to lengthen your legs nicely. All right, so we start with the right leg. You're going to bend the right leg and then see if you can take your right hand back and reach for your foot. And this may be challenging at first, especially if you're very stiff on the thighs. You have to see that you pull the foot towards your buttock. That's it. And if you can touch your buttock, great. If it's a little bit more challenging than that, then just be where you are. Don't overdo it. And remember what I said. Don't push through. You have to go to those boundaries and wait. Just soften and then see if your body will allow you to move a little bit further. So try not to bring the aggression into your practice. And release it. And then we come to the other side, so re-establish, and then taking your left foot up and catching your left foot. And see, can you bring that foot towards the buttocks? You see here, a little bit different on this side for Leo, a little bit stiff on this side. So we've always got that slight imbalance going on with the foot. So see if you can bring the foot towards the buttock a little bit more. That's it. So the leg, you can see here that actually through that, the leg just needs to come in a little bit, just in. And the direction of the thigh needs to go from the inside out. And then bringing the leg towards. Yeah. Okay, so come into this pose, don't overdo, don't overpour, and don't feel it in your knees. If that's happening, then you need to take a stage back and just let the leg be at this stage. Okay? And if you're not catching your foot yet, don't worry about that. You can always use a belt around the foot and just gradually work through the action and release it. So the Bakasana preparation, you can practice several times. It's quite nice for the thighs and it really works with the frontal thigh fibers. Coming into a seated position now. So we come for Sukhasana just to reflect and just settle the breath.
So we probably need to change the legs again, don't we? Because we were working with the
Yeah.
opposite leg
That's true.
today. It's really important to try and remember to swap the legs over when you're sitting in this position. And we would recommend that you try sitting on the floor from time to time. You know, maybe when you're working on your computer or watching television.
Yes, that's very good.
Sit on the floor, even if you have to have your back supported by your sofa. It's quite a good thing to do to get into the habit of sitting on the floor a little bit, even a little helps.
Yes, absolutely, and so true. Try to bring yoga into your life. It's not just on the mat.
Absolutely not. So thank you very much for joining us today, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. Namaste.
Namaste.